I'd made a kind of a walkthrough of how to go about deploying a personal website built off like just a normal static, templating, blog templating tool. And I'd made it and figured this might be a good opportunity for folks who are excited about IPFS, want to get involved putting their own website or creating a really easy static personal web page for the DWeb and get it up on IPFS. So just see what that process is. It's like, I don't know, 20 slides of like point and click, and thought it'd be a fun place for people to see that. Awesome. So here is my handy dandy little walkthrough on deploying your personal website using Forestry, Hugo, Fleek, and IPFS. The real main heavy lifters in this are Forestry and Fleek. Starting with Forestry, this is kind of how you go about, it's a great tool that you can use for finding kind of static website templates. And so it's really, really easy. You hop over there, click start, select a starter template. You can filter by like, which of the many things you want to use. There's many options. I chose Hugo just because we use Hugo a lot for various different IPFS websites, and chose one of their kind of portfolio starter templates. The nice thing about these is that it's all static, and you can preview it, you can decide if you like it, and then you can copy it to GitHub. And so voila, I got the copy of the Hugo Forestry template in GitHub. The one like little trick with Hugo and putting Hugo sites up on IPFS is to make sure that you have relative links. And so the most important piece here is hopping into the config file and making sure you add relative URLs equal true. And this will make your Hugo site work really well on IPFS by default. So little one-line change to the config, and this will be ready to go. You can preview it, run it locally. Voila, here's my local machine running this, this is now like 3 clicks, I think, and I have a local version of the little static website that I'm going to want to launch on IPFS. From here, now that I have a static version, I want to get it up on IPFS. For that, I used Fleek, since Fleek is super, super easy from a UX perspective. And if the aim here is to make this as accessible to kind of people who are getting started as possible, that's a great example. They actually literally have a guide for using Hugo and Fleek with each other. It's really useful. Definitely take a look at that, because it has the one kind of little trick you need to do in terms of setting your build settings. But for me, I'd already deployed previous sites with Fleek, and so I was able to just sign in, connect this to my GitHub, choose the repo that Forestry had already created for me with my Hugo template in it, select that, and then I was kind of pretty much ready to go. The one trick I had to do here was, instead of using the normal Hugo build command, I had to remember this blog post that I looked at and change my build command to kind of submodule update init. And this is just making sure that that this thing compiles and shows as a website instead of as like the straight up files within Hugo. So that's the one special trick you need to know with Hugo and Fleek. From there was super easy, just modified this and click deploy site. It took like, I think it was like 1.5 minutes of deploying to Hugo, and voila, I was able to then go and verify it on Fleek that it was running, and voila, here I am fetching this from Fleek's gateway, where Fleek is hosting this on IPFS, and I'm able to fetch it from them, and I can navigate around, go to the blog, portfolio, other pages of this website. Now I can also go in and view it more directly on IPFS. And so here I actually am grabbing the IPFS URL for this instead of kind of viewing it from their gateway. I'm viewing it on the IPFS.io gateway. And so I can turn on my local companion node and configure this. And then I'm able to actually load it via my local IPFS node. And this was actually before I had updated to IPFS 0.5. So that changes around these URLs a little bit to put the QM part at the front and the localhost part at the back. But here I actually have like an IPFS enabled local node, and success. within like, I don't know how many clicks that was. I think I should go back and count. It's like 20 or so. And like a 1-line text or 2 lines of text entry, you're able to go from static site creation to running it on IPFS. And so definitely, I think that officially qualifies it as at the point that like easy enough for anyone who wants to deploy anything on the web to jump over and use these sorts of tools and plug them together really easily to get up and running. And there's a lot of other examples of people who are jumping into the space. The D-blog is, I think, another example of how quick and easy it can be. Unstoppable Domains also has kind of template websites for getting up and running on the D website. And so lots of different ways to do this, but I thought this was particularly slick and easy to plug these two tools together with each other.